Welcome to the Hockey Nation live show with Coach Frenchy directly. Oh, today I'm at the Penalty Box Podcast booth and Michael Devellano directly, not from Toronto, look
Not from
like
Toronto.
he's back home in West Coast, California. And I think you are not in smoke right now, but feel like you are,
Yeah, it's
right?
pretty crazy outside. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of smoke in the air. There's ash everywhere. It's kind of crazy, and it gets worse as you go towards the hills. But
I feel like I heard like a lot of the air quality is really bad, and it's not only in California. It can go all the way up to Vancouver. Like it's go, you know what I mean? They feel
well, there's fires in Washington.
exactly. So
So we were of course traveling, and we were in Spokane, and the highway between Idaho and Spokane, Washington, was closed the day before we went to the airport because of the fires.
really, wow.
Sad. It's
It's
really bad.
then we have a storm and we have a tropical storm here in Florida the last 2 days, and now it's going
Ugh.
direction to New Orleans, another hurricane, and 2020, like what we can said,
Yeah,
2020,
it's
right?
so crazy.
I know. Back in the NHL playoff 2020. First of all, we have to go back at the game well, not last night, but yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Um, it's exactly what we thought at the beginning of that round number three
Totally.
between Islanders and Tampa. I
Yeah.
think, the difference again, it was the back of Alex Killorn. It was back in the lineup after one game suspension. But most important thing, it was all about Brandon Point, the impact he bring on the Tampa Lightning. Is maybe the MVP for them. I'll be honest with you.
Oh
So
yeah.
so
I think
far,
we keep saying it. Like this guy has been he's the
game
best
after
player
game.
most nights. Like when you see him, he's not a big guy. He doesn't have a big name. He wasn't like a first over he wasn't even a first round draft pick. Like
It's amazing how he changed the philosophy, but not the philosophy, but also that what he bring on the ice for the team.
totally.
And for me, it would not look like 100%. I'll be honest with you on the healthy side.
I'm
You know,
sure he's
he
not, but
you can see he's not play at the level like how he is normally. But again, he got another 2 point yesterday,
Jesus.
and the way he played, that's carry on the team that way. And unfortunately, I don't think so. How Islander can come back and win the last three game, and I can see this from
No,
Vegas.
I think this
You know
is
what I mean? I
done.
can see Vegas could come back, but I don't see how Islanders can come back here. Maybe one more game, but I don't think so. They will be quickly over and give a pass to Tampa to go to the final Stanley Cup 2020. Um, it's a
Well,
game
we're
where
seeing like, they lost the one game, which is the one we said they might lose because all those guys are out.
yes,
Yep. Obviously the Islanders were fine with great structure and the system they play, but matched up like there's just too much going on in Tampa. Like, yeah, this is where you see when you got so many top players, you're gonna beat the other team eventually if everything's equal.
with time, yes, I agree with you. What I mean? Like, I was a little bit, not worried, I was a bit disappointed the way Islanders get out of the first game, the game yesterday. I thought it was coming more, with the momentum of the last game win, and they would say, you know what, we're going to start the
Yeah.
game hard. We're going to pinch, not only pinch, but hit Islanders. And the first shot of the game, it was a crossbar from Tampa.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
Brock
hit.
Nelson scored a beautiful goal, but you're right, they were a little flat.
It was very flat.
I think that the forwards are showing, like the forwards on Tampa are just too much for the D on the Islanders. Like the D long term, if you're the GM like Lou Lamoriello of the Islanders, you got to look at your D and go, how do I upgrade this a little bit? There's good players, there's depth, but you need they don't have one or two like a Hedman or a Sergachev.
Yep, I agree with you. You talk about the first period. Well, you talk about the score, the shot. It was 0-0 after one period, but Islander have
Yeah,
only five shot at the first period versus 11 from Tampa. And you can see right away uh, how how it was for Tampa dominate that first period right away. They was like all over Islanders. Varlamov have a great first period, honestly. Gave a chance to Islanders stay in the game more longer, but you can see, more minute what was doing,
For
more
sure.
you can see the team was more starting to, you know, um, struggle more. Now you can tell me, oh yeah, but by the way, the the they scored the first goal of the game.
Yeah, but then like 15 seconds later, and then it was 2-1. Like it was like a minute, and it was like 2-1. Like so,
So
they
you
just
know,
erased that. It was
um,
crazy. How much impact do you think losing Johnny Boychuk has had on the Islanders in a game in a series like this? What impact would that guy have?
but I think.
Like, does it help them enough? I don't think so, but it's still like it's close, right? Like,
I think there will be a little bit more help more
yeah,
because as you can see a couple, you can see Manfield struggle a little bit, and you can see the depth or D start to show up again. Honestly,
he can hit and he can shoot the puck.
yes. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I think at that moment, Andy Green would not play that series against Islanders, against Tampa.
He's not. I don't know how good he used to be, but he's not great now. I mean,
Right now is the speed of the game. You know what I mean? Like he's
can't
getting
keep up.
beat many times. He's always been a good player, he's a great defenseman. You know what I mean? He's 38 years old. You can see now he's struggling more. But again, second period, you can see now what happening at 11:27 because you just mentioned, wow, this was like, if you went to the bathroom and come back, it was 2-1. If you left to go to the bathroom at 0-0, 11 minutes, you
That's
came
I was in
back.
the car and it was like bam bam.
You came back 1 minute later, it was 2-1 Islanders for Tampa. And so what the heck happening? So 11:27, like you said, and we mentioned this yesterday. You was not there with me, but I was mentioning. We talked about this earlier,
Yeah,
where Brooke Nelson have an amazing playoff, but also an amazing playoff against Tampa. Score is nine, goal of the playoff,
good
and
player.
another assist of who?
Oh, where for Nelson?
Yes.
You're saying on the Nelson goal? I don't know. Was it Bailey?
Yep, again. So Belly score
Oh man!
assist again there. Um, so
Wow.
it was 1-0. And then I said, you know what? It's a little bit what happening the game earlier where Tampa was all over Islanders and then finally they win the game and then, but 15 seconds later, 15
15
seconds,
seconds.
the next
Just like
face
bam.
off, Blake Coleman is fourth of the playoff.
And
As
really, if you watch that, it was Gord that
yes.
generated that. Like he cleaned up the junk, but Gord was like instrumental. Like what a great shift for him.
By the way, on that goal, Vasilevsky had a pass.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Like where?
So, the puck go in the defensive side, pass to Gordy and Gord, and then he go back. And then you say, okay, that's all right, 1-1. I know he's going back, and then he's going to get a little bit better. And 12 seconds later,
Bam. Done.
Palat is eight of the playoff. Palat is
Oh,
hot, sick for the last six games. He's six
just been
good,
good. Yeah.
great goal, assisted by Kucherov and Brendan Point.
Yeah.
Again, it was his first point or the two of the point yesterday. Um, and so this is happening, and 27 seconds, three goals. 27 seconds, you have
That's
got
just a
three goals.
backbreaker, man. That just kills them.
I think that moment, I agree with you. Whatever the shot was 14-11, I think it was very hard for them to come back after that. I really believe it was not good. I think you can see after that where they struggled more and more
Totally.
for that and for the
Just
Islanders.
it kind of felt like I just sucked the life out of them, and they didn't really have an answer for it.
No, absolutely right. I think he was like, I think it was the end about that part of there. And then third period, at the beginning, the third period, I think it was in 3:33. Brendan Point, we talk about is nine of the playoff, and assisted by Palat and Kucherov. Palat, it was his second point of the game, also like Brendan Point, and then an empty net. Pat Maroon. It was only his first goal of the playoff, but he plays his role. He know his role. He know what you have to do. He's a great leader.
Oh
Maroon won
yeah.
the Stanley Cup before. Cup, won last year with St. Louis. And
Did we see? Did you watch the goal again from the first goal, the Coleman goal, where he like Vasilevsky makes the little pass to Point? Is it Point?
yes, no,
And then he
Gord.
Yanni Gord, sorry,
Yeah,
and Gord like it's like it's Hail Mary, but it's on his stick.
yeah,
Like what a great pass! Like it's crazy how far it was.
exactly.
That was a great
Um,
goal. Anyways, not to go backwards, but
No,
I
no,
was just
no.
watching it
That's
again.
that was a
It's
great
like
pass over there. It was great about that one over there.
that was crazy.
So at that moment, it was the end for Islanders. The shot. If we go a little bit more about the stat of the game for both team, 36-27 for Lightning Tampa. That show exactly what happening. Face off 62-38 for Tampa. Islanders struggled yesterday. 0-3 on power play. Um, 48-48
It's
hits yesterday for 96, and then Black 17-17 was maybe the same, but gave away. Islanders gave a puck 17 time, and Tampa only 11. 2 point on Kisharov yesterday with Gord have 2 point also, point 2 points, and Palat have 2 points. So you can see four players where they are not dominate, but they are part of the what Tampa is. It's
absolutely,
not only about one players, but
absolutely.
it's distribute, contribute by other players during the game, and that's mission. One thing I would be surprised, what happened yesterday from Tampa? It's not
No,
happened a lot. I've been honest with you, I cannot recall that one over there. 0 point for the D.
that's weird.
You right? That
Huh.
surprised me, right? I'm watching.
The D had been really involved in everything. That's I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
It was funny. I was also gonna say like what I would like to see a breakdown of is on those giveaways. Like how many of the Islanders giveaways are D versus forwards?
I can tell you that right now.
Oh yeah, okay, because that's really I think that kind of paints the picture maybe of
So that'll give you giveaway. Uh, they have two, three, four, six from D
hmm,
with four different players, and the forward, of course, you have the rest. But Eberle and Barzal have two giveaway puck. Now we talk about Eberle, Barzal, and with Anders Lee, right? They are the first line. If you think at about the short or the depth of short
sure.
of the Islanders, right? But we need to look about this. We're going to maybe check this for the one to be over. I don't see a lot of production from Eberle, Barzal, and Lee during that playoff round.
Well, I think what you have to look at is who they're matched up against, which is Hedman. I mean, you that's they're trying to get that matchup, right? And
Absolutely right. It's a
that's a
possibility
tough
there.
one, man. You see when you have that's why I was kind of thinking before. It's like who's matching up against Point. Like the coaches look at stuff like that and they try to figure out like who's on the ice when this guy's on the ice. And I mean, if you're putting, I mean, Hedman's out constantly, first of all, 29 minutes, like he's taking away a lot of offense. This guy's a +2. He's
Yeah,
playing top minutes against everybody.
yeah,
He's, where then you go back to the Islanders lineup, you go, what, Letty? I mean, Letty's never been great on defensively. He's like okay, right?
yes.
Kulak was a -3. So I think you're seeing, he should be maybe a second pairing defenseman, not a top.
Yeah. But again, when we talk about this, the deal is going to be exposed again.
Totally.
Right
Like,
means all the time like that. You know
to-
when I want to mention this to you, Keller and Point play over 23 minutes yesterday. 23
wow.
minutes. So that'll
Holy
give you an idea. Two player impact their game.
Hey, you guys got some rest. Go for it.
You know what I mean? So that make them,
Yeah.
when you
Wow.
see Keller on the ice and Point, and then they are not there. Now you have to see expose more. We Cedric Paquette and Maroon and those
Are
guys.
you
That's make it.
adding power play to time on ice?
Yes.
I don't know if that's right.
I'm sorry again.
I don't know if that's right. I think TOI is all of it. I think it includes the power play time.
Well, I'm just give you the power to time right now with PK and power play.
Oh, okay. But I mean, if you look at Point, he played 18 minutes yesterday.
Yes.
Four of it was on the power play.
Yes. So it was 4 minutes on power play and then 18 minute 24 on the ice time over there.
I
Like
think TOI includes power play though, doesn't it? I think
um,
it's total ice time.
it could, yeah, I think
I think
so
it
too.
is. I don't think you add them. I think it's like a subset.
Yes, you're absolutely
I
right
think,
because
yeah,
if you think about Edmund play 29 minutes,
right. There's no way he
yeah,
played
no
more
play he's going to play like
because he had
36.
7 minutes. He wouldn't play
Yeah,
36
you're
minutes.
right. You're right
Yeah.
about that one over there. I
But
agree with you.
still, like, 18 minutes, I think he played coming back. So
Yep. And
pretty awesome.
Barzell played 22 minutes yesterday. That's a lot. That's really a lot.
Good. Well, I think you're definitely, I mean, there's one problem with that lineup is who else do you have at the level of Barzal? The fact that you're playing Eberle with Barzal says a lot.
I'm not worried about Eberle, to be honest with you. I'm more worried about Enders Lee because Lee, you know,
Lees does what he does, right?
in
He
front
goes
of the
to the
net.
net, and
Yep.
but if you have Eberle out, you need someone else to play the cycle. You need someone else to put pressure on the other D, and that's not going to be Eberle.
One thing we didn't mention, and now we're going to talk about this is the injury of did not play yesterday.
Because
Casey, Zizikas.
Casey's out for. It sounds like he left the bubble.
Yeah, he left the bubble. It was confirmed with the Islanders after the game, and
Bummer.
also Tom
Bad for him.
Kunal.
Kunakle.
Yeah, Kunakle
But Zizekas is a big deal, right?
left also the bubble with the KC yesterday. So he's not a impact. You can see yesterday. The Tampa removed Steven yesterday.
Oh, Mitchell
Mitchell
Stevens,
Steven and also Carter Venahi.
Oliver Hagee, or whatever.
Yeah. So they play for the two without 1 point, and Killorn was not there. So it is what it is. We mentioned this before.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm excited if they close this out. Islanders have done very well. They've beaten some real good teams,
Yep.
and they have nothing to be ashamed of. There's a big gap in the talent between them and Tampa. And Tampa, for years, I mean, they shouldn't say this. They had one really good run and they came real close.
Yep.
This is a team that should win a cup. Like you look at it year after year and you're like, I'm sick of seeing Pittsburgh. I'm sick. I can't even believe Washington won a cup. Like I still can't believe that. St. Louis was a dark horse. There's no excuse if they're healthy. Even when they're not healthy, they have so much depth now. We want to see Tampa win a cup eventually. Why not
Yeah.
this year?
You always said, it's rare a team when the Stanley Cup did not learn to lose the year prior, and I
Very
think they
true.
really learned from Columbus last year. I think
Absolutely.
it was the biggest lesson they can get, and that lesson from Columbus teaching them to be prepared for this year.
And be a lot tougher, not rely on your talent. I
Yep.
mean, they had some serious blows. Like that Kucherov suspension was ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Like that was like ridiculous. That totally screwed them. They're doing this as we keep pointing out without Stamkos. I mean, Stamkos is no bum. That's a top 10 or 15 NHL player.
I agree with you. So that's make like I said earlier, we'll see what happened in there, but I think they are in direction of the Stanley Cup conference finals.
Well, they're giving themselves a chance. I guess once again, Tyler Johnson, 12 minutes. Like you've got Cirelli out there for 18, you got Tyler Johnson for 12 minutes. Is he hurt? Like he's still playing. I don't get it. Like I gotta think he's gonna be more. I mean, maybe it's because where Cirelli plays, like he plays in front of the net. But
I believe the structure they have right now, if you check the lineup right now, so they play really well, Tampa with Palat, Point, and Kisharov.
yeah,
Second line, you have Cirelli
yeah.
right there. Then you have Killorn right there. And then I missed one over there. I apologize. I don't remember the
On
last.
center, well, they got Gord, right? Gord.
No,
Gord,
God play on the
Goudreau,
third
and
line.
Coleman.
God play with God line, the third line with Goudreau
Right.
and
Kaloran, Cirelli, and
Romanov.
John. Well, Johnson's playing on the right wing on that line. That's what I don't get. He's only got 12 minutes or 10 minutes. Like, is it 10 or 12? It was like
Who I'm
12
missing on the
minutes,
second
12,
line right
30.
now? Who play with Cirelli and
Yeah, it's if you look, it's supposed to be Johnson. Normally, it's Cirelli, Kaloran, and Johnson. Johnson's been playing in the wing, but he's not getting that full shift. So someone's getting that ice time. And it looks to me like, I don't know, is it Gord? But Gord's only 15 minutes. Because if you look like Goudreau's 16 minutes, maybe it's Palat. Maybe Palat has moved up into that, I don't know. But Palat's like usually, who's the top line? It's Point, Kucherov, and who? Palat?
yeah.
Yeah. And then Kaloran, Cirelli, and Johnson are supposed to be the second line, but Johnson's ice time is way less than the other two guys.
So usually, sometimes they would use Point, Killorn, and Kucherov, but now they use
That's
more
probably
Point.
Gord.
Like now, one thing they bring more, they bring Coleman with Cirelli and Killorn,
That's why.
and then they bring
Again,
Maroon Johnson and Gord on the third, and then you have the
interesting.
back. You have the rest of them, and then they would bring good row on the third line and drop Johnson down with Maroon and Gord. So
Yeah, I guess it is what it is. They're
that's
playing
what
a
he
straight
mix.
grittier game, right?
Yep, that's what he mix. So they
Yeah.
can bring also Goldman down and
Yeah.
bring Goodrow up. So they have a lot of
There's a lot of
flexibility for the top
options.
nine. Remember, they play also with 11 forward usually, and then 7D.
Right. Too
That's
good point.
so so that's happening there. Let's move on for the next subject before
Give me
we.
one sec. I'll be right back. You can keep talking.
All right, sound good. Before we talk about the next game tonight between Vegas and Dallas, I want to mention a bit what's going on with the stats on the playoff so far. Uh, Kucherov and Point reached tonight, yesterday, McKinnon with 25 points. So now they have three tie for the first point for the first round. With Kucherov Point and McKinnon, all three have 25 points. We know McKinnon is out of the playoff, so it's going to be a race at the end between Kucherov and Point. One thing we have to remember, Miro Eskenen is a 22 points, so he's a fourth and the race of the most the points on the playoff. And then after that, you can mention also the Rantanen, following by Rantanen, Bailey, Peterson, Shea Theodore, 18 points. So right now, I really believe it's going to be a race between only two players, between Kucherov and Brandon Point for the most the points in playoff 2020. If you go about the goalie, we still have Temko, Price, Anderson, Gorber, Jack Allen, Copicello, all over in front of other goalies. They're still in the playoff, stay alive, and then but you can go with now Leonard and Vasilevsky have now 1.93 so far, and then a little bit after that you have Thomas Grace at 2.02. Defenseman most of the points so far, Emiro Eskenan, we mentioned this earlier,
So good.
22 points, following by Shea Theodore at 18. Then you have
That was shocking.
a player does not play anymore like Hughes and McCarr. So you can see it's fun to see a rookie have a good playoff like Hughes and McCarr. And but then
Crazy.
one thing I'm surprised, Edmund have only 13 points. We know what he bring on the table. Not say he's not have a bad playoff. He just,
No, I mean,
you know what I mean?
he's played 17 games. He's got 7 goals in
Yeah.
17
So
games.
at the end
These
of
other
the
guys are setting a high bar.
yeah, at the end of the day,
He's,
I want to drive because he lead
think about it.
he
He's
lead
on
on the
pace for
goals.
30 goals, Pierre.
He leads with the
30.
goals. He lead with a goal right now with Theodore with 7. So, but I was just curious about why he did have a lot of points. Like he only 13, have 26 assists, right? But yeah, and also he have a lot of big goals during the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, you know, so at the end of the day, yeah, you're absolutely right about this.
So if you project it to a full season, he gets 60 points with 30 goals and 30 assists.
Yeah. Talking about Josh Bailey earlier, you have 18 assists and Kucherov have 19 assists.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. Let's move on for the game tonight. Game number five between Dallas and Vegas. Game at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on
Oh, what
NBC Sport Network. Um,
are they going to play Leonard? Yes.
Both goalie will be back on the pipe right now. I don't see any chance.
Absolutely.
I don't see high scoring game again. It will be a low scoring. Now you're asking me, you know,
It was 8 goals last game.
yeah. Um, if you want to ask me, first of all, we need to talk about the injury with Mark Stone. If it's how badly it is, it's going to be a game decision about that
Oh
one there.
man,
Now we have
that
to
kills him.
mention what's going on with Dallas. They maybe lose to center, Rupi Hand,
That's a problem.
and then Radel um,
Baxa.
Fast, yeah, exactly. So you talk about two big center right there for Dallas. I think
That
it's a
hurts.
little bit the situation happening with Tampa without Point and Killorn, whenever they are not to center. Um, Without them, Dallas have not the same kind of power on defensive side when you have Hans and Fesca with them. So we understand what Cogliano can bring on the table, and you know what I mean. We know the depth of Dallas, but without them, it
No,
would be a
there.
little bit
That's
more
bad.
difficult. So without them, I expect more. We need more from Seguin to get.
I was gonna say, like, you need Seguin to be the old Seguin for a
Yeah,
game.
yeah, he have a
You
good
need,
game. Last game he was played very well.
he's playing well. He's just playing different. He is not the old guy was just like concerned about racking up points, but this guy's like two-way player now. I don't know what's going on.
That's grow, right? That's a good way to say that. That's really right to say that too. I think it's a great observation from you, and I think that's a growth to become a better two-way
Maybe.
center players, and that's what we ask sometime at some level. When you have Radulov and you have Ben produce more on offensive side, and it's really a better full team together. Not only now to thinking about Radulov, Ben, and Seguin, and you have more different players like Kuryanov. I think
Guriano's got 15 points. Like he's
yeah,
their third leading scorer. Like this kid is
and
he's
you know
and you
what?
got Sagan's got 8 points.
And they play him on the fourth line, the third line.
It's so crazy. But
So
maybe he's like, if you're matching up your third defensive pair against that guy, you're in trouble.
yeah, I want to mention what you said earlier. I think one player he has already 9 goals from Dallas. He have the most goal in the for this team so far is Joe Pavelski.
Well, I was going to say, so if you look at how this game will be structured from a line point of view, let's say Rupe Hins is out. Um, Suddenly, you're still dangerous because you've got Pavelski down the middle, and then you got Jamie Ben's been taking a lot of faceoffs. So Jamie Ben, I feel, is playing center more than Sagan sometimes. Like maybe that's not right, but
No,
you
you're
know,
right.
and Sagan wins a lot of faceoffs. So I think you're still like it's gonna be they're gonna be double shifting Ben and Pavelski and even Sagan will get a lot more ice. I mean, I don't think they're that worried for one game. They might throw it all in and
Pavelski is 36. Perry is 35. Uh,
but what's like this is we talked about this before, which is Pavelski first of all was the captain in San Jose. They would not sign him to a $6.5 million contract after scoring 34 goals. His game has never been about speed. Like
yeah,
he's been a terrible skater if you go by NHL standards, right? So you're like, if you're evaluating him, you don't go, oh, his game's going to drop off because he can't skate, because that's not what he does. He just does little things really well and he's smart, right? So you go, okay, cool. Put him out there. I can trust him and he's going to score.
yes.
Cool. And he looks terrible, but whatever.
Is it him? He was like on game number 7 against Vegas. He got hurt at the face-off with cross-checking. Is it him?
I don't know.
2 years
Maybe.
ago?
With San Jose,
Yeah, when he was losing 3-0, and then they scored 3 or 4 goals on
and he
power
gets
play.
pissed off, right?
Yeah, he got hurt. He got cross-checking, or he got hit on the head. Like
I
game
think
number
you're
3.
right.
It's him, right? I tried to
Yeah,
find if it was him or um,
I can't remember.
someone else. I'm trying to guess. Try to remember that one over there. He was winning 5-4, and he scored 4 goals the third period. I don't know if
Yeah,
you remember that one over there.
Eakin cross-checked Pavelski in the chest, and then Stastny bumped him as he fell to the ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so that was like
I
April
think it was
24th.
Pavelski, right?
Pavelski again, and it was like Stasny and Cody Eakin.
Yep.
One guy cross-checked him up here, and the other guy knocked him down.
Yeah. So, if you look about that series right now, we talk about, Pavelski and Seguin, Jimmy Benn. We talk about Eskenen. And you see, repeatedly, every game, every time we talk about them. And we forgot always, we should always starting with Kudubin. That's the reason why they are right now. Kudubin have an excellent, great third round, whatever he struggled a bit. Again, Colorado give a lot of goal. It's like what we expect anyway. He has shut down completely Vegas. He's really don't give a lot of rebound. He's really one of the reasons why I think it's 3-1 right now for Dallas, for me.
He's just been very, very good. He controls rebounds very well. Like, he's sucking stuff up, so there's no second shot. And when there is second shots, even though he's a smaller goalie, he's not relying on size. He's moving to get the puck, which, a lot of bigger goalies won't necessarily do that. Like, he's not, but, it's funny, like, he's athletic enough without being out of position a lot. So he's a unique goalie. I mean, we've known about this guy for a long time. He's been kind of a second fiddle, which it's nice to see him getting this success. I don't know. I think if Hins is out and sorry, who's the other player? So Faxa. That definitely hurts Dallas, but it doesn't put a nail in their coffin. Like, I was seeing, they were putting Corey Perry out nonstop. It felt like last time.
Yeah. But I think if one team can come back 3-1 on between both series
Vegas,
is the biggest. They have the players, they have everything. The only
sure.
thing they struggle for the last they have like 4-6, so now they are 5-7. The last 7 games they lost their 5 games, and they don't have no protection for the big guy. Like, Stone continues to do well, but Pacioretty, Marchessault, and I think they need more for the second line, not the first line. Like Stone, you know what I mean? They need more. They actually have a good game last game. I know that, you know what I mean? And those D play well, Lerner play well. So the backside of the game is great. It's
Yeah,
just the forward don't
they can't
produce the
score.
they cannot exactly, and that's the problem they have. Right, that's the reason why it's 3-1 right now. That's why could have been look great every time. You know what I mean? Because Vegas cannot have any goal from their forward, and
So
without them,
Cody Glass is gone, right, for the season? Has he got like a knee injury or something?
who?
Cody Glass for Vegas.
I think
Like,
so.
is he even in the bubble? I don't know if he is.
I'm not sure. I did not see him at all. I cannot
Well, that's
recall.
it. I'm pretty sure he got hurt, and I can't remember if he's even in the bubble. I think that, it sounds strange, but there's a guy that can generate a lot of offense, and at the NHL level, in my opinion, if you play him.
He
So I
was a
think
really good young. He's really a good young.
centerman,
Great. You have a good year.
not bad. He started out okay, and then I think he got hurt, right? But I'm assuming he's still out. But that's kind of where, if he was healthy, you'd like throw that guy in and he'll get you offense. But I think in the end, this boils down to, is Mark Stone in? Is it my perception, or does Stone play on the perimeter a lot?
Well, right now he played with injury, so you know what I mean.
So I feel like he's constantly on that right sidewall, and I just don't know if that's where you need him. Like, maybe he just seems to control things from there. It's just a weird mix with him, but I feel like in the playoffs you've got to get to the net.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
to say they're not. Like, they're getting a lot of shots, but I feel like there's not a lot of puck movement, and you need pressure in that slot area. So they've got a problem where they're getting a lot of shots, but they seem to be not getting a lot of movement out of the goalie. And I don't see, the guys that would do that would be Marchessault, because the other guys, you have a lot of guys that are straight ahead players. Like
Yep.
Stasny's a straight ahead player. Riley Smith is speed and transition, right? Stone kind of plays half wall to the net, maybe. Paxaretti will get in the mucky areas, but I don't know. I don't see anyone that can get movement. Like you compare that to say, well, Tampa. Like Tampa, if you look at all the assists, there's a reason because they're moving the puck. Like their best players are moving the puck to open space, right?
Yeah.
So
So remember, like, I can give you a little bit more update about
Glass.
he's got February 20, he got suffer a right knee injury.
That's
He
what it
needs
was.
surgery, and do you
He's
wanna
out.
expect him to come back until the training camp for 2021?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I was wondering because like it didn't make sense that he wasn't getting any time
Yeah.
whatsoever. So that would explain
And
that.
then in December 8, 2020, he got hurt at the head concussion by Brendan Lemieux.
Yeah,
And then January 4, he got hurt on his right knee when he collided with Jay Bowminster.
yeah,
And then after that, um, remember he went one down to the EHL at some moment
couple games. Yeah.
when they changed the goal, the coachings, everything like that. So, at the end of the day,
What
um,
about Brandon Peary? Where's he?
yeah, that's another one where Perry, he's like, he's always been a full, he's always been the bubble player between AHL
Totally,
and
but he
NHL.
can
Remember, I don't
score.
know if you remember Tim Taylor. Do you remember Tim?
Tim Taylor was at least good two-way player, but yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah, of course. He was a captain in
No,
Washington, wasn't he?
no. Tim Taylor, he was a player. So
Oh, I'm
now,
thinking Clark. Yeah, Tim Taylor. I remember that.
okay, so I believe Tim
I'm thinking
Taylor,
of
I can recall his name properly.
Chris Clark.
He was one of the best AHL
Yeah,
most points, something like that in NHL, right? And he was produced at many. I think he was with Los Angeles King organization, and he was doing like amazing. Now, it's not a team that I'm talking about now because he plays 700 game. It's not Tim Taylor play from Tampa Rangers Boston. You have another Taylor. I'm going to do some search talking about him tomorrow. You have a guy. He was Taylor. I think it was Taylor last name. Play for LA, but he has like about like 500-600 point in AHL, and he cannot go stay on NHL. And that's a little bit what happening with Perry. Remember, he was play for Florida
yeah.
Panthers, and
But
then
if you know Brandon, like I've known him a long time. Like he's another 91 player. Like he's kind of the Sagan age group, and he's like always been very offensively gifted. But it's to the point where there is always controversy because people are like, "There's no way he got that many points." They're padding the stats. No, it's just he's invisible except when the puck's on his stick. You don't notice him, and all of a sudden the puck's in the net, right? And at the NHL, like you can't be that type of player. Like you can't be a defensive liability. You can't be invisible, and that's kind of always been his problem. Like trying to get him to play a two-way game, and that's not his thing. Like he's just like a blue line in, and but he can score. Like it's too if he's in the bubble, I think I throw him in. Like here's a guy who got 72 goals in 270 NHL games.
yes, I know it was like
And is your power play crappy? Put Brent Peary on. They need something, like they're trying to do the same thing over and over and they're getting tons of shots, but they're not moving the goalie. They're not like generating actual offense.
yes. Who I was talking about was Tim Tukey.
Oh my God, that goes way back.
All right, so Tim Tukey, he's like number,
Was he
um,
Philadelphia too? Like
yeah. So Tim Tukey, he
from
was like
Washington?
he's number 4 and
Oh
the
my God, this goes way back,
NHL,
man. This guy's like
right?
that's like the 80s.
Yeah. So you talk about players, Jody Gage. You remember Jody Gage?
Jody Gage was like the Rochester Americans, like the guy lit it up and he get the NHL. John LeBlanc.
He played 1,000 game at AHL. He got
Yeah,
1,048 points. You
but
remember Mitch
couldn't skate.
Lamoureux?
Lamoureux?
You know, talk
Small,
about
talented
guy have a
player.
lot of point. AHL. Bruce Boudreau has 800 point and 634 games.
I remember him with the Leafs. Like he was a fun player to watch. You could
I
just
know.
never crack it. But the other guy that was like that, John LeBlanc, couldn't skate, right? But he could score like crazy. And
But
you'd bring him
my,
up and
my
he'd
point to you
score.
was like, Piri was the comparison between the players can
Totally.
play very well in
What
EHL.
was, what was the little guy, Lefebvre? Patrice Lefebvre, was that his name?
Yes, that was the first,
Oh my God, that guy was so good, right? If he played today,
oh my God, yes.
he
Yes.
would be like ridiculous. Like,
And QM, he was amazing. He was like 200 points, everything like that.
yeah, 200 points, like crazy. And he
Talk
and for the
about
last
about
AHL, like,
the brothers Lebeau, Stéphane Lebeau.
oh yeah, Patrick and Stefan.
Yeah, that's another. A lot of players at that physicality of their physique versus in 80s and 90s could not play in
Mhm.
HL because it was too small. It was all
They were
about
just gooning it up, man. There was a
so
clutch and grab junk, right?
yeah. So I'm going tonight with Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised everybody tonight. It will be 3-1 or 3-2.
God, I don't know.
I called it yesterday. I did call 4-1. I called 4-3.
Which game? The
Tampa.
Tampa game? Oh yeah, yeah. But uh, I feel like every time I bet against Dallas, I'm wrong.
You called it last game. You
I
took
did because I gave in to the
Yep.
dark side. um, I don't know. I think the Dallas might put a nail in it
There you
tonight.
go. You can deal with that one. That's what
I
we are
haven't.
here. We are the no expert in NFL.
Well, I don't think you can be an expert in it. I think our expertise is, hey, when I'm on the bench and I'm in the room, okay, that's different because I know how my team is going to respond. From the outside, I'm not like a gambler. Like I'm
No, I
not playing,
understand.
well, when the moon is orange, then this team's going to win. Like the difference between these teams is very minimal, right? So I
Yep.
think if Rupe Hins is out, that's a problem. If Faxa and Hins are both out, that's a problem, but
That's why. That's why I took Vegas.
but it's not insurmountable. I think you lose big men down the middle, but I bet you that Pavelski steps up, and I bet you Sagan actually shows up a little bit. But Ben, more than anyone, it's Ben. I think Ben takes a lot more faceoffs this next game.
The
So I
only
think
thing
I think Dallas is going to pull it out. I don't know.
at the end of the day,
Is Mark Stone in?
the point of this game tonight is if you have no goal from the forward from Vegas, it's
You're
over.
done.
So
Yeah,
at the
and
end of the
it,
day,
and if
if
Mark
they show
Stone's
up,
out, who's going to score?
yeah, if they show up, they score, there will be another game. But if they don't score like they did not do for the last couple of games, they will struggle with that.
Yeah.
Talking about trade rumor and news, the captain for the Flames, Mark Giordano, win of the 2020
Oh
what?
yeah, that was great.
Mark Messier Leadership Award.
Yep.
Good for him. He's always
Yep.
been a great defenseman, but also he's a great human being. Do a lot in the community of Calgary area. He's just a great person, and then he's bring a lot of leadership every time. So he's well done. Well done for him. I'm very happy about him. He's not young. He's what 36, 37, if I can call it.
He's
Uh,
up there. Yeah, he's been around a while.
yeah,
But there's a guy who is in phenomenal shape. And what I always remember is that he went away to Moscow Dynamo and he came back, and I don't think they realized how good he was, and he left, right? I don't, or maybe that was like it was like a lockout year, but he played in no, he played in yeah, he played in Russia for a year, right? 07, 08.
yep.
And then he came back, and that was not the same kid. Like that was a man, like
You know what? He just
what a
wrote.
career this guy's had. I mean,
He just said he's only 31.
he's 1983, so that's not true. He's
Yeah,
36,
31.
30. He's gonna be 37 October 3rd.
I know on that page he has 37. One thing I want to mention to you also, and in 2017, on the ESPI Y Awards. He got the he earned him also the Muhammad Ali Sport Humanitarian Award, to
Good for him.
2017.
He's not just active in the community, like he
Yeah,
takes on some pretty big things, right?
yeah. So
Good for him.
I think he did very well, and it's good for having players like him, everything like that.
And he
So
saluted Jerome Iginla, which I thought was interesting.
yeah, exactly. So that was the good news about that one over there. If you talk about news in the NHL, we want to talk about something. Let's move on with the situation with two teams. We know we want to talk more deeper, but I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with Vancouver Canucks. We have a couple of news from them yesterday. Uh, I'll give you an idea what are returning for sure. Peterson, Hughes, Horvat, Chidi Miller. Jilly Miller, Alex Etler, Tyler Myers, and Tanner Pearson. Then the returning almost 100, 90%, Brock Boiser, and Jacob Maxstrom. They think they're going to sign him.
So that I don't hear Tyler Toffoli in that mix.
Now,
But
now the 50-50 club where they are thinking they may go somewhere because Toffoli want to come back on the West Coast.
oh, for sure he does.
So we have him with Josh Levo, Troy Stetcher. I think that's the one they should sign.
For
And
sure. Stature, yeah.
brother Jimmy Ben, Jordy Ben, where his last couple of years he go from Dallas, Montreal, Vancouver. So
But he is, yeah.
you know what I mean? I think now they have to figure out the situation to buy out maybe Louis Erickson.
Oh, that if you buy out Erickson, I don't know if it helps you though. The problem is the way that contract is structured, isn't it?
Yeah, $6 million.
But it's like there's something weird about the way it's structured that you don't really gain much on the cap. Even if you buy him out, I think there's like a $4 million hit.
I think so too. And then you have a clause like 10 team selection by the
Is he
players.
that bad? Like, can he not play anymore? Like that guy used to be a very productive player.
Yeah, remember when he played for Boston?
He was so good. He was just very consistent. He scored big time. Like
He came from Dallas, right?
I think he
Yep.
did. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, I
That's
know
that's the trade with
he's
Tyler Seguin.
so okay. Well, here's the thing. You've got only 2 years left on his contract.
Okay. He's at
So
six.
it's not the end of the world. It's 6 million.
Yeah.
I wonder. I'll have to look at the buyout. There's got to be but there was something weird about the way it was
The
structured.
problem him is like what his contribution to the
Six
team at
goals.
six
Like he
million.
can't.
You know what I mean? So
He's
the
got
second player they will talk about wild card because his injury is Michael Fallon. That's something they have to figure out.
yeah.
Who are on the block, and that surprised me a little bit. Jake Verternen. Uh,
Really?
yeah, it's a miss. How I said that? Like the GM Jim Benning have a little bit trouble with him. Like he's not on
Like,
his best player list for.
huh, I wonder what that's all about.
So I think Vertonen, he have what 20 goals this year or 18,
18, yeah. He's
and
improved every year. Like he's gone 10,
he's
15,
not did not
18.
play well on the playoff.
I didn't think he played that bad. I mean,
No, but that's the point. Well, maybe the expectation of Jim Benning and Travis Gray was a little bit more from Vertonen because you asked Danny was played third line, fourth line. So
yeah,
anyway, they want on the block. You have also Brendan
it's still
Sutter
young. I mean,
and Jay Biggle. Um, they have to check.
I think you get rid of Sutter and Erickson.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I'm surprised at Vertanen. Like he's a big body guy. Like he can score. Okay, I get the playoffs. Sometimes he's still youngish. Like he's 23 or 24, right?
yeah, he's young.
So he's just entering his best years, and he's cheap. He's not
I
that
think
expensive.
many team would take him as a third round pick.
A third round pick,
Yep.
but he was sixth overall. That's the problem. They look at him and they go, he's never lived up to his potential because he was picked ahead of some really good players. But I think there was just like it's not like he's a bad player.
He's what 2015,
14, yeah,
14. Man,
yeah, because he there was
look the list of 14.
well, he's the thing I think that hurts him he was drafted ahead of Nylander and Ehlers, and he was drafted ahead of Fiala, and that kind of hurt his. And Dylan Larkin was a steal,
Yeah,
but
but you have to look about that, not him. Look about who was the draft.
well, Del Cole was picked ahead of him too, right? Del Cole, who
Yeah,
I thought was going to be very good, but
did not turn around to be good over there. Um,
no.
finishing with them, they talk about expansion compliance watch to with the goalie Temko and Louis Domingue. And then Bayer watch is going to be, I think, Antoine Roussel did not have a lot of trouble during the playoff with Vancouver. I think he was not, I think he opened the mouth about Reeves and everything like that. So he's put him
Did
in.
he?
Yeah, I put a lot of trouble over there about that one over there. And then, the situation with Chris Denev will be something to watch,
Oh man.
honestly. I think they will go away with Oscar Fettenberg and also Zev Berchi. I think it will be too.
Oh, Sven Berchi is
Yeah,
gone, man.
I think it will be too obliged. It will be out. Let's move on with finalists with Toronto Maple Leafs. What's going on over there? Um, Tubas is reportedly asking for a top four defenseman for the goaltender Anderson, and with Johnson and Alex Kerfoot, two of the bank wins number pick maybe picking number pick 15 round or possibly William Lelander uh, to get a 4 round pick. Uh,
Who is your goalie in Toronto?
Matt Murray if they trade with Pittsburgh.
But that's what I don't get. Like they already traded with Pittsburgh. Why wouldn't they have included
My
him in
concern about this really is like if they send Anderson because they talk about RFA, UFA in 1 year, not 2021, 21, 22. My concern about this, like you just said, who's going to be goalie? Who is going to be better to Anderson?
I mean, Matt Murray, you think would be on par, but he's got stuff off the ice that seems
Who
to
played
affect
better the last 2 years between Anderson and Matt Murray?
absolutely Anderson. That's why I don't understand. I mean,
That's my point.
I,
I don't
you
get it.
know,
I don't why they want to put him out when he have a great three. He can go. He is a goaltender. We can do 50, 55 goalie game, 50 most. He play well. They always thinking about he did not win the game number 7. He didn't win. You know what I mean? If you live in the past, you're going to live in the past.
of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I don't know. I think they're just shuffling pieces
my
like
question would be,
constantly.
where was John Tavares during the playoff this year? Where
Well,
was John
that's
Tavares?
my question because like if you watch Tavares, to me, he turned over the puck a lot, and so did Marner. You can't have guys that are getting paid 10 million and they're not stars. Like they have to be stars all the
I have
time.
more confidence on Mitch Marner right now to John Tavares
I don't disagree with that.
because the age,
For sure,
Marner
you
have
don't
the
dump Marner. You dump
potentially to get at
Tavares.
least 90 point, 100 points per game per season.
I feel like number one, you have a coach that's learning on the job. There's a difference between playing in the AHL and coaching the AHL, OHL in playoffs, right?
Yep.
So I think that that's tough. Um, and then I'm not. I mean, they know what Anderson's like. He's a softer guy. He's Danish. Like he's a different personality. I don't. So I don't dispute. If you want to make that move for Murray, great. I don't know why you wouldn't have already got Murray and then moved him. Maybe you're waiting to do one and then the other. They already gave up a lot. Like, why wouldn't they? Would they send the picks back? The 15th pick for Murray?
I don't know. You know,
Maybe, right? Maybe that's what the deal is. Maybe it's like, oh, you get your 15th pick from Minnesota back. We get Matt Murray. It's a
I don't
weird
know if
one.
that's the
I can't
no.
figure it out. I feel like it's just a poorly structured team. I don't get it. I would really question it. I don't know.
Now they are thinking about, finish with that one of that. They talk about the look at the 15 drinking trade target for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, you saw there was a trade yesterday, right?
Not Toronto.
No, Montreal, by the way. Yeah.
Montreal, what they just got the rights of Joel Edmondson.
which is probably smart if they can sign him.
If you find him is a great
Great
pickup
pickup
there.
there.
He's a
That's what they
left
need, right?
one,
That left shot, big
left shot. You know what I mean? He's 6', 6'4", 6'6".
6'3", 6'4". Yeah,
You know
he's
what I
pretty
mean?
big.
So he's a big body there. Montreal need big body. And when you think about this right now, if you put him on the left side, check Weber on the right, check
Yep,
Chariot on the left. Then you go
yep.
back with Pittery. Then you go back with
Who's that?
Edmondson. Then you got Romanov behind, and then you have
Romanov.
Kulak you can put on the other side, and Johnson over there. That's a big 6D right there for Montreal.
I
What you
think
need.
that's a tough D to play against, man.
And
That's a
then you
tough
have Jake Allen, and then you get Carey Price.
price.
So now you get the back of the team really solid right now. So it could be a really good move from Bergevin, and we have to
I
give
think so.
credit. But a 15 players, but maybe targeting Toronto targeting, I think is, you have to let it go sometime. But it is what it is. Aaron Eggblend from Panthers, Matt Tumba for the Wild, Colton Perico from Blues, Remus Ristolainen from Sabres, Troy Stetcher, Vancouver, Josh Manson, Anaheim, Brett Pesky from
That's been rumored for a while. Like
yeah,
you
Carolina.
could see Anderson going to Carolina for him.
Who?
If you went Anderson to Carolina and got Pesci back, you'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. The problem we get right now, we talk about, the next one is Nicholas Jarmel Marson from Arizona,
I
Dennis
like him.
David Savard from Columbus,
Oh,
Jonah
really?
Brodin. I'm sorry?
Columbus wants to move him?
No, it's all about what Toronto
Would
needs to
fit.
be
Fuck,
targeting, like
whatever.
maybe target rate. So looking for
Yeah.
defensemen. Then you have and after that you go from Jonas Broden from Minnesota, Matthias Ek Ekholm from Nashville. What I don't see this.
Who,
Connor
who
Murray.
who made this list?
Um,
You know who Nashville's not going to trade? Matthias
no, the
Ekholm.
list there is like what you put on the paper, what kind of defenseman they're looking for, or they are maybe on the trade block.
I want Maurice Richard.
You know what I mean? So they have to look about this one. Mackenzie Wegard from Florida, and then
He's really good. Why would Florida move him?
but again, it's just looking for the players. They just don't go. Nobody wants to trade him. It's just
No,
what
they're
they
not
were
going to trade those guys.
targeting. If they send to Panthers, Nylanders again, Wigger, maybe they will talk Panthers. But my point here is it's just intriguing players.
Yeah,
Not,
I get
not
it. But there's reality and not like I think. Do you think Florida would trade Ekblad?
I don't think so. First of all, secondly, Toronto should not target him. He's $7.5 million. Thirdly, they need a left side. They don't need right. And all
Yeah,
the
I
list
don't
that
get
we
why
got,
that would be.
all the players we named the top 10. They are nine of them are right.
I really like Ekblad. He's a big guy that can score, and
He had
he's
a
a
great
man.
good season last year.
He's very good. I
It
mean,
was a terrible year before that. He's still 24 years old. He's still young.
young man.
It's just the contract he got. He was lucky. I don't know what he
You
gave him.
think so? I don't know. Like he's cheaper than OEL,
But
and
it's
he
not
might.
cheaper at that age to get at 21 years old at 7.5 when you have Parkov and Uberdo at 5.5.
Who? Sorry, who?
Parkov
Oh, Barkov is. Yeah, that's a
and
deal, man.
Uberdo at 5.5. So they give too much money at him
Huberto. Oh yeah.
to Aaron at 7.5 when he was 21 years old. They should give him a $5 million like everybody they did with Uberdo and
Yeah.
Parkov, and then increase. Now they stuck with 7.5, and then you look
It's not
at
that bad though. I think if you look at other similar defensemen, it's tough to get a guy like that. I mean, he's a unique package. He's like a poor man's Weber. Like if you compare him to Weber at the same age, they're not that far off. Like,
not agree with you about that one over there.
I mean, Weber's obviously
He's
now.
not physical. Aaron is not physical. He's
Oh,
not.
he's not
He's not at all. Maybe
really
you remember when he got punched by Tommy?
by Max Domi.
Yeah, he was not a great. Tommy, surprised him with a punch, but he never run nowhere. He did not do anything to Matt Domi where
Really?
if you Sean Weber got punched by someone,
Yeah,
and
he would destroy
I'm
you.
telling you right now, he would go through six players, the referee.
He would take you and you
He
and
would
slap.
go under the sand, to run after
Oh,
the puck.
really?
It's just like he's don't have that kind
But
of meanness inside of
he's
him. That's
not.
why.
That's the. I guess that's interesting. Okay, I haven't watched him. I guess enough to.
Yeah.
My
Again, I'm
perception
not
of him is
saying
different,
again
but
him, and it's not like he can hit everything like that, but he's just
yeah,
like that kind of meanness inside of him.
yeah, that's
And
bad then.
you know what I mean? So we're just talking about Toronto.
Yeah, I get it.
And
So okay, so Toronto. What's wrong with Toronto with the media?
yeah, that's the live over
And
there.
they're like they give a the best guy was Lou Lamoriello because Lou Lamoriello created a bubble and said nope, you don't have access to our players except in these ways. You're not talking to our rookies. He made he had a bit of a culture and a structure, and I think now that that's gone, you're seeing their points are dropping for a reason. Like they had some DNA that they're clinging to. Not to say that Kyle Dubas isn't a good judge of talent, but what he doesn't seem to be is a great judge of signing players. Like his capology is not amazing.
Yep. So it was the end of the show today. I think we passed the 1 hour.
Oh,
We
sorry.
appreciate all the listener and Hockey Nation fans. So I thank you to be here every day. Mike, it's always a pleasure
Thank you,
having you every
Pierre.
day. We missed you yesterday. I was
Sorry
just
about
like,
that.
you
I was
know,
on an airplane.
but at some time I talked myself many times. So it was not bad to be by myself.
Sorry.
So, game tonight, 8 p.m. Vegas, Dallas. Michael go with Dallas. Mike go with Vegas. We'll see who's going to have. One of the two is going to win tonight. So
We're 50-50.
we are 50-50 tonight. I go with a 3-1 score. Thanks for everybody. Thanks, Michael, to be here. Everybody have
Thank
a
you.
great Monday. Have a great week, and I will see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock, 8 and on Eastern. Have a great one, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.